All right, we are back with another pick'em video, and today we have the NBA Cup championship game, Bucks versus the Thunder. So two great teams to watch for tonight, and I think it's going to be a really entertaining one. I really am curious what you guys think about the NBA Cup. Some people are like, I don't understand it. NBA regular season sucks. I'll be here, I'll watch for the playoffs, and that's fine. People don't have to watch basketball all year, but if you're a basketball fan, you got to love the NBA Cup. We've gotten a ton of really, really good games, playoff-like games in November and December because of this thing. So it can be a little bit confusing, but it really is just a tournament. And now we got the two best teams in the tournament going head-to-head, and we got a good one. Thunder versus Bucks. I do want to go head and say I'm not playing a whole bunch of individual picks in this game. We're here for PrizePicks plays, Underdog plays, specific player prop plays. I'm going to give you guys 3 or 4 picks for today. I did submit a 3-man and a 4-man that we're going to talk about. But I just want to say this is a tough one to read for sure. Yes, you want to bet on Giannis. Yes, you want to bet on Shai and Dame and all these guys to go over. But this is going to be a defensive-minded game, I think. I know a lot of people are taking the under in terms of the point total. But at the same time, superstars step up in these situations. So the Thunder do have a defensive-minded team. They have very good interior defense, that's where Giannis lives. So it's tough to take an under on a guy like Giannis, but that could be some way that you could play this thing. At the same time, Giannis has been incredible, and he can beat really any defense when he's really cooking and putting his head down and getting a whole full head of steam. So we're going to get into the actual picks here, but just it's a tough one to read for sure. And, obviously we're going to break down matchups, hit rates, all these different things when we go over the plays. But yeah, just don't throw the house at this one. I think it's going to be a fun one to enjoy and watch. Throw a $10 bet or a 1-unit bet on something, maybe a couple if you want, and enjoy the game because I think it's going to be a fun one. But we are back. I've been sick for a little bit, but getting back in the grind, I'm really excited to start sharing videos like I normally would. If you go back and see I have not been uploading at the consistent rate that I like to. So coming into Christmas time, I'm excited to get back in the grind and hopefully find you guys some winners and enjoy sports along the way. So if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe, leave the video a like, comment something down below. I want to know your thoughts on the NBA Cup. I think it's as simple as that. Some people hate it, some people really like it, some people have no opinion on it, but we've been getting good games on it. But yeah, it's a good time to jump on board with us. Again, I know the consistency hasn't been there the past 2 weeks or so, but I'm feeling a whole lot better, so ready to jump back on the grind. It's a great time to start betting, NBA and sports. Now we have a whole bunch of data to work off of. We can really dive into, specific matchups against each other, how players have played without certain players in the lineup, how players have played with certain players in the lineup. All those different types of things go into it. So yeah, a lot more data, hopefully means a lot more success and a lot more consistency in terms of winners. That doesn't mean we haven't been consistent, just means now we've got more data to work with. But let's jump into it and ramble at this point like I usually do. Let's find some plays. All right, so jumping into the PrizePicks desktop screen here. First of all, if you're not on PrizePicks and you want to jump on, tail some of these plays, or just get a cool app that has a whole bunch of lines that not a whole lot of other sports books have, like dunk lines and things like that, which are a lot of fun. Definitely use code RichPicks when signing up. It's going to be a great way to support the channel, but you're also going to get $50 instantly. All you got to do is use my code when signing up, bet $5. They load your account up with $50. Pretty sweet deal right off the bat. But let's just jump into the first play here, and it is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I told you this is a defensive matchup for today, but that doesn't matter for Shai. Wow, I'm rhyming out here now today. Another one, 43.5 PRA. I'm literally making a song as we go. But yeah, I'm taking Shai's over here. Without Chet, he's been doing this pretty consistently. This should be a game that he plays 38 minutes, almost 40 minutes. Hopefully this one stays close. It is a 4.5-point spread, and this is dropped from 5.5. So again, I think books are thinking this one should be tight, and I know the NBA would like that if it was. But yeah, only over in 36% of games, 9 of 25. But again, Chet goes down. He gets a little bit more offensive load, just a whole bunch of shots they feed through him and J-Dub. Mostly Shai, though. Let's take a look at games without Chet here. 53% of games, so that does look a whole lot better. Obviously, Chet is a big offensive weapon for this team and defensive, but without Chet, 44.67 is Shai's average for the season. Now, again, you take a look at the minutes. Some of these games he's been going under. I do want to say he plays a whole bunch of minutes a lot of the time, but we can see right here, if I can find it, some of these games in the red only playing 30, 29 minutes, even 32. That's something you could expect for a game like this, but the 2 last season in-season tournament games, even though they were, handily won, he still played almost 38 minutes. If this this one's close. I would not be surprised at all if we see over 40 minutes from Shai today. And with Chet or not, let's take a look at the last 20 games he's getting, 35 plus minutes, 36 minutes. You can see this hit rate just go up and up. The longer this guy's on the floor, there's more opportunity for him to score. And, rebounds, assists, he's going to chip in with a little bit of that. But scoring's obviously going to lead this thing. So all that into account, obviously he's a good player. We know this, MVP type candidate. Then you go to Milwaukee's defense. They're not good at defending the point guard's spot. They traded away Jrue Holiday a few years ago to Boston. They got in Damian Lillard, one of the best offensive weapons we've seen in a long time, but he's not great defensively, and they don't have a whole lot of defense at that guard position anyway. Points allowed, literally dead last, 28.7. Rebounds allowed, 24th ranked. Assists allowed, nothing too crazy, but 11th ranked. So Shai, guy that's going to score, do a lot of his damage in the scoring department here. Literally dead last to point guards. I don't know why he's listed as a shooting guard. He's going to be the point guard for this team. So really liking Shai. In terms of market value, it's not going to be a whole good market value day just because there's not a lot of games to pick from. These lines are going to be tight. A lot of people are going to want to be betting overs, so they're going to bump their lines and things like that. But it is good to see that they're slightly favoring the over here. 50.55% chance to go over according to DG Fantasy, 43.5. Why is that? Where is this number coming from? It's essentially saying a lot of books have this at 43.5, and most of them that have it are slightly favoring the over. They're going to pay you out less if you took the over than the under. Some of them are favoring the under, I will say, but very, very slightly. Most of the books, though, especially the most, consistent book, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's the tightest book, the sharpest book is the word I'm looking for. They're favoring this one pretty heavily, minus 127 on the over. But yeah, good to point out that DraftKings FanDuel, slightly favoring the under here. FanDuel, slightly favoring the over. So market value-wise, I'm trying to say this is more of a 50-50 line. But I really do like Shai in the spot. Hopefully he steps up, kind of going for that MVP like I've been talking about. Him and Jokic, kind of a 1 and 2 race. Giannis creeping up the sides. So this could have maybe a depending factor or a differentiating factor in terms of who wins this thing. When people look back, they go, hey, who won that matchup, Shai or Giannis? And, that could come down to it. So, Shai, 43.5 PRA, first play of the day. And then moving into our next play here, I know I just talked about Shai for about 4 minutes straight, so that was way too long. I'll try to expedite this one a little bit more. But I'm all about entertainment for this game. Again, there's not going to be a whole bunch of market value to play off of. I am thinking this is going to be a defensive-minded game, but someone has to do the damage. And I think it's going to be a Dame show rather than a Giannis show. Now, Giannis can do his thing. He can be Superman. This interior defense, that's one of the best we've seen in a long time on the Thunder here, could just get destroyed by Giannis, who's a recent MVP and a guy on track to be in the top 3 conversation all throughout the season. He's on a mission, so if he could get maybe Hartstein into foul trouble, we could see a huge Giannis play. But the reason I'm going to Dame is because I do think that the Thunder have such a good defensive scheme that they're going to play Giannis with a smaller guy. They have a small lineup other than Hartenstein down low. They're going to play him with a small guy, hopefully, not get by him. They'll probably throw 2 guys at him. If Giannis does get by him, he has to deal with Hartenstein at the rim, who has been, a really good presence down there at least. And if he can finish, if he can get guys in foul trouble, like I said, it could be turning into a Giannis type of a show here. But I do think just the scheme that Giannis is going to have to play against is not really looking good for him in this matchup. That does look good for a guy like Damian Lillard, though, because Giannis is going to have the ball in his hands a whole lot. He's going to be driving into traffic, and we've seen Giannis really struggle with that, try to put up tough shots when people create a wall against him. But he's also been very successful against and realizing, especially when he's seen it a few times in a row. And when people do make that wall and he is struggling at the rim, he's really, really good at kicking out 2 shooters. And I think Damian Lillard is going to hit a bunch of threes today. I'm not going to go to his 3-pointers made. I am going to go to his PRA at 34.5. This is at 35 on PrizePicks, but if you want to be looking at his 3-pointers, I think that's where a lot of his points are going to come from. And I think Damian Lillard is going to be, the guy for today in terms of scoring, mostly for the Bucks. I can't find a 3.5 line, but even if it was a 3.5, the books are favoring the under on Damian Lillard. Now, it doesn't mean I think he's going to go under that line, but I'm a very big market value guy, and especially in a fixed payout system, I'm not going to take a plus money play on something like PrizePicks. So I'm going to go to his PRA. So again, 35.0 PRA on PrizePicks. I submitted this entire play over on Underdog because Damian Lillard had a lower line, 34.5. That just better market value, better kind of like buying a stock at a discounted price. I'm going to take the play over here on Damian Lillard's 34.5. because I can get it cheaper. And especially if everything else is checking out, Shai has the same line on Underdog as is on PrizePicks, so the play is going to look the same. But yeah, very long-winded. As I said, I was going to speed this up. Very long-winded way of saying I think they're going to really swarm Giannis, create that wall, and we're going to see a Damian Lillard type of game. And then to show some stats on this, it's going to look really good. 68% of games has gone over 34.5 PRA. We've seen him do really, really well very recently as well. So he's been cooking. He's getting into his groove. The Bucks came into the, maybe they didn't do much in the offseason because they looked horrible to start off, but they are starting to click and they look really, really good. So this really good hit rate, obviously a very good defense, so that goes into it. First ranked in points allowed, 30th ranked or 29th ranked in rebounds allowed, and then assists allowed 4th. Looks a little bit better to point guards, but they got a whole bunch of good defenders. The only good thing about this matchup is the two guys that we've seen go for over 30 points or something against this Thunder team were Steph Curry and Fred VanVleet. Damian Lillard, kind of similar. If you're going to give any sort of comp, it'd be like, it'd be like Steph Curry's Charizard, Damian Lillard's Charmeleon, and Fred VanVleet's Charmander, kind of an evolution, and they all kind of play similar. So hopefully Damian Lillard can kind of be that third guy to go off against this team. He doesn't have to get 30. His points line's at 23.5. Hopefully he can chip in with some other stuff, and he's been doing that consistently. Again, if he gets a whole bunch of time, which he has been averaging 36 minutes a game, we could see easily 38, 37, 40 minutes from him. And in games we've seen, a ton of minutes, let's say 37 minutes, 90% hit rate, dating back to last year, even the last 20 games, 85% hit rate when he's on the floor for this long. So I'm really, hoping for a good game, like I've been saying the whole time. If this one stays close, we should see these stars get a whole bunch of minutes. And I think Dame's going to be in a good spot for this one. So I didn't expedite Damian Lillard's explanation at all, but I will expedite this one. Gary Trent Jr. over 1.5 three-pointers made. He's the only guy I can find for a three-pointers made line. If you go here, it's Dame, it's Gary Trent, and there's a whole bunch of goblins. Or I guess it's not even Dame. It's Isaiah Joe, Gary Trent, and a whole bunch of goblins. I'm taking the over here for Gary Trent. He's been consistent. He's a 40% three-point shooter. He's not going to get 35 minutes for tonight unless he's absolutely balling. He'll probably get more like 20 to 25 minutes. But if they are breaking this wall up and Giannis is kicking out to three-point shooters, they're going to give up a whole bunch of threes, and I think Gary Trent Jr. is one of those guys that's going to get a decent amount of shots. Now, you're going to see that they don't allow a whole bunch of three-pointers made. They're actually ranked 5th, so you're going to see this over line on Outlier showing up as red for this 5 because they only allow 12.6 threes made per game. That's ranked 5th in the NBA. They don't allow a whole bunch of threes. But if you look a little bit farther, they allow a whole bunch of threes to be shot. They're just good at defending them. 38 threes shot per game against OKC. That ranks 20th in the league. So, they just need to start making shots. And if the paint is swarmed like we think it's going to be, it should just mean more three-pointers. And they're going to have to knock them down to keep this thing close. So 1.96 three-pointers made per game so far this season. Did have a little bit of a rut here earlier on in the year. And you can see the minutes were pretty consistently low in those games as well. But he's been, consistently getting more and more minutes, 21, 22, or 24 actually in the last 2 games. Those are NBA Cup games. So I think it's going to be more like this minutes-wise. He ended up getting 2 in one of those, 0 in the other one, but he shot at least 4 in a lot of these games as well. So if he can shoot 5, 6 threes, I think that's going to be, pretty good for us. He's been shooting 40% all year. He's a good three-point shooter all throughout his career. So we just got to knock him down. Again, the Thunder are quick. They got a lot of good defenders. But if Giannis getting triple team down low and kicks it out to an open Gary Trent Jr., I think he can go ahead and knock them down. Now, I'll talk about market value a whole bunch in this a lot. A lot of the times I'm going for minus 130 plays on PrizePicks and Underdog because they're fixed payout systems. You can take advantage of that stuff. But this is one that's actually going to be pretty much a 50-50 line. Every book that has this up, minus 115, minus 115. Even odds on the over and the under for DraftKings. Minus 116, minus 114 for Pinnacle. A lot of these books, most of them not favoring either one way or the other. Looks like Sleeper does like the over. Looks like Caesar likes the over. So that's good to see that some books are favoring this over. But this is really a truly 50-50 line. I'm just hoping that I have a good read on this game. And if I'm taking Damian Lillard, to have a good game, I think Giannis is going to get swarmed. I think he's going to be kicking out to three-point shooters. It makes sense for me to really dive into that script that I'm making in my head. And I think Gary Trent Jr. will also be a guy that benefits from that. So Gary Trent Jr. over 1.53 is the third play for the video. And then moving into our last play of the video, I want to go to Isaiah Hartstein in some respect, some way, And on PrizePicks, it's not going to be good market value. On Underdog, it will be good market value. So I'm going to show you the slip on Underdog. That's where I submitted this play. But it's going to be his points and his rebounds at 22.5. You're going to see a popular play for 23.5 on PrizePicks. Again, I'm taking the stock at the lower price over here on Underdog. It is 22.5, great market value. And here's the exact plays that I put in. So I did, my unit size is $20 typically. So part of that's because I don't want to get banned by these places if I'm throwing $200 on these slips. I also don't like the stress of that. Even though I am a profitable sports bettor, I don't like to throw that money around lightly. And also they would, limit me and ban me pretty quick. So I do like just, play within my community and, you don't really need to hear about this, but yeah, $20 unit size. So I put $10 on this 4-man flex. That is a good way to play Underdog. 4-man flexes are not bad plays. 3-man power plays as well on Underdog are also pretty good payout systems. So I took away Damian Lillard. I don't really know why. I think I really like his matchup today, but I probably should have taken out Gary Trent just because he's a little bit less likely to get a whole bunch of minutes. But yeah, you can play around with this either way. So half unit on each of these, 4-man flex play and a 3-man power play. If you want to know any math or anything about how PrizePicks, now Underdog, do their mathematics and what's worth betting, you can go to PrizePicks Math or Underdog Math. I kind of typed this out for my community members, pretty much just saying that, on PrizePicks, I would never play a 3-man. On PrizePicks, I would never play a 4-man flex play. But on Underdog, they're different payout systems, and they're actually not too bad in terms of their total target hit rate, their break-even points, and all those different things. So that's a time for that's neither here nor there for now. But yeah, there is a lot of math into this. So these are the exact plays. Isaiah Hartstein. Let's take a look at what he's been doing so far this year to close out the video. 80% of games he has gone over this. Now, I almost want to just go to his rebounds alone just because he's been rebounding so well for this Thunder team. And I don't really have to worry about his points because Milwaukee, we've been talking about the interior defense for the Thunder, but Milwaukee also has a really good interior defense with Brook Lopez and Giannis obviously down there most of the time. But Isaiah Hartenstein has been doing really well this year, and dating back to last year, he's played the Bucks. I've probably mixed that up a million times, but he's played the Bucks really well in terms of scoring and rebounding. 12 and 13, did have a little dud here, 11 and 8, and then 18 and 10 against them back in April, their most recent matchup. So I do like to see his scoring. That's really good to see, and he's been able to rebound. So 22.5 does seem a little bit low in terms of their head-to-head, and he's been much better this year, getting over 30 minutes in most of these games. If this stays close, we could see 36 minutes from him. So he just needs to chip in with a couple points. He's going to dominate on the boards, I think. So if you really don't want to check over on Underdog, I do like the combo rebounds line with him and Giannis. If you want to get Giannis into your parlay, I think that's the way to do it. But if you want to jump on Underdog, if you're not on there already, use code RichPicks when signing up. You're going to get a deposit match or a deposit bonus up to $1,000, which is pretty sweet. And again, great way to support the channel. You're also going to get a free month of my Discord anytime you use any of my codes when signing up. I really appreciate that. So it's RichPicks for both Underdog and PrizePicks. There's a whole bunch of other sponsors of the channel you can check out in the links in the description. Sleeper is another fun one. Dabble is one that I really like today. Outlier, also these tools that I'm using, they're also sponsored the channel. You can get perks by using my codes or links if you want to sign up and try these, like Outlier has a free week. That's pretty sweet. And you can also get discounts on DG Fantasy or Odds Jam, any of those types of things. So yeah, that's going to be the 4 plays, 5 plays if you want to count this combos rebounds line. I do like that one. I think Giannis is going to be doing well in the glass. I think Hartenstein's going to be doing well in the glass. So throw them into a combo. Maybe one of them grabs 15, 16 rebounds, and the other one doesn't have to do much. But I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think the Thunder will probably win this thing, but I would not be surprised at all if the Bucks do. So I'm not going to be touching any sort of spread or money line plays for this game. But yeah, don't go too crazy today. These are the player props that I like. We talked about all of them, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave it a like. Comment something down below. Who do you think is going to win this game? And do you guys like the NBA Cup? I think I'm a fan. I just like the games. They're a lot more meaningful. They do seem to play, a little bit more like playoff type basketball, which is fun. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. But hopefully we found some winners for today. Again, these are the PrizePicks plays. I submitted this over on Underdog because it had better value. This is the way that I played it, 4-man flex, and then a 3-man as well. You can mix and match your favorite one. Maybe I would take Gary Trent out and do Damian Lillard instead up here, but I think I like all of them. And then if you really want to stay on PrizePicks, you can add that combo rebounds line for these guys. But that's going to do it for this video. Again, I know it's a longer one. I do like to ramble in these things. last thing I want to point out is if you are interested in getting access to all my plays on a bunch of different sports, get access to the Discord community. Plenty of different ways to get in there for free, months and months and months. All you got to do is sign up using my code for any of these platforms. All that information is in the video description of this video, so just check that out if you want to get access to any of those. They're also right here, codes and links right here. Sign up for any of them, free month for you guys. And again, you're going to get some sort of deposit match, free bonus square, something that's kind of a perk for you guys as well. So definitely take advantage of those things. And I'm also going to be doing a giveaway today. It's just going to be a $25 giveaway, but all you got to do is vote on who you think is going to win this game. I'm going to be posting this in about an hour or an hour and a half in the voting vault. So you can get in here for free. You don't even have to have access to the RichClub. The link for the free part of the Discord is also in the link down below. So just check that out. You can just join. The voting vault's active for anyone. And I'm going to be posting who do you think is going to win, and someone that votes for the team that does win. I'm going to put you guys into a wheel and give the winner $25. So just a little bit of a way to give back to you guys for enjoying the channel and jumping in the community. So that will finally do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Good luck with everyone's bets today. And again, these are the plays that I talked about today. I submitted on Underdog. You guys should check it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I promise. Peace out.